Hello students, myself is Parminder Singh from Prab Kripa classes. Our today's topic is conservation of plants and animals. Today we will try to solve NCRT questions. Now question first, fill in the blanks. A place where animals are protected in their natural habitat is called wildlife sanctuary. Next, species found only in a particular area is known as endemic species. Next, migratory birds fly to far away places because of climatic changes. They may also fly to other places for food. Now we are to perform difference between wildlife sanctuary and biosphere reserve. Wildlife sanctuary is mainly for the protection of wild animals of an area. On the other hand, a biosphere reserve is for the conservation of biodiversity of a designated area. In case of wildlife sanctuary, boundaries are not fixed. In case of biosphere reserve, boundaries are fixed. Tourism is permissible in case of wildlife sanctuary, whereas in case of biosphere reserve, tourism is normally not permissible. In case of wildlife sanctuary, human activities such as cultivation of land and building of settlements are not allowed. In the case of biosphere reserve, human activities such as cultivation of land, building of settlements are allowed in the peripheral area of a biosphere reserve. Next, wildlife sanctuary occupies a comparatively smaller area of land. A biosphere reserve is spread over a large area of land. Wildlife sanctuary may be owned by a government or it may be private owned. Biosphere reserve is owned by government. Example of wildlife sanctuary is Badra Wildlife Sanctuary in India. Example of biosphere reserve is Pachmari Biosphere Reserve in India. Now we will see the difference between zoo and wildlife sanctuary. In the zoo, animals and birds live in artificial settings such as cages and enclosures. You can see here that a lion is in zoo. It is in captivity and is in zoo or cages. In wildlife sanctuary, the animals and birds live in their natural habitat. You can see here that the animal is in its natural environment. A zoo contains animals and birds which are brought from different parts of the country and other countries of the world. A wildlife sanctuary contains animals and birds found locally in that area. A zoo is normally open to public for a fixed time every day. The animals and birds are for public display. A wildlife sanctuary is not open to public freely like a zoo. Public can visit wildlife sanctuary only when accompanied by forest guards. The animals and birds are not comfortable in the artificial environment of a zoo. In the case of wildlife sanctuary, the animals and birds are very comfortable in the natural environment of a wildlife sanctuary. Example of zoo is Mysore Zoo, whereas in the case of wildlife sanctuary, example is Badra Wildlife Sanctuary. Now we will perform question 2C. Difference between endangered and extinct animals. Endangered species is an animal or plant which exists but its number is decreasing very fast. On the other hand, extinct species is an animal or plant which is not in existence at present. Endangered species are those if we do not take necessary steps to conserve them, it is very likely that they will become extinct in the near future. For example, blue whale, Bengal tiger, extinct species. They cannot be brought back into existence. For example, passenger pigeon. We have also given here two photographs pertaining to endangered species, that is blue-throated macaw and the other is brown spider monkey. In case of extinct species, this is the example of a dinosaur and it is passenger pigeon who no longer exist on this planet. A species not definitely located in the wild in the last 50 years of current time is actually called extinct. That is how a particular plant or animal is treated as extinct. Now we will learn the difference between flora and fauna. Flora is all the plant life present in a particular region or time. Sometimes bacteria and fungi are also referred to as flora. The plants found in a particular area are termed flora of that area. Fauna is all of the animal life present in a particular region or time. The animals found in a particular area are termed fauna of that area. Flora can usually prepare their own food. Fauna depends on flora for food. Flora is studied in botany, fauna is studied in zoology. Examples of flora are sal, teak, mango, and jamun, which are the flora of Pachmari Biosphere Reserve. In case of fauna, leopard, wild dog, wolf are examples of fauna of Pachmari Biosphere Reserve. Now we will come to the effects of deforestation on wild animals. Deforestation is the removal of trees or other vegetation from land. Deforestation can be caused by human activity such as agriculture or logging, or it may be due to natural reasons such as forest fires. Wild animals need suitable habitat where they are safe and comfortable. They use these areas for resting, sleeping, feeding, breeding, hiding, and escaping predators. Deforestation can cause them to completely lose their homes or be forced out of their natural range. It removes sources of shelter and food, such as fruit bearing trees. Food availability is reduced. Deforestation also increases the chances risk of predation. Finally, many animals lost their lives. In fact, deforestation is one of the main causes of extinction of many species. In this picture, you can see that perhaps the animal is trying to ask the mankind a very big question: what was its fault for why these trees have been cut? Question 3b: effects of deforestation on environment. Deforestation adversely affects the environment as per detail given below. Deforestation disturbs the water cycle and causes droughts. That is, less rainfall. Roots of tree suck water from earth's surface which goes to the leaves. This water gets evaporated due to heat of sun and forms clouds. This later falls down on earth as rain. If there are less trees, less water will go up and resultantly there will be less rain. Next, the roots of the trees stabilize soil and keep it in place. Removing trees on a mass scale through deforestation speeds up soil erosion. During photosynthesis, plants absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Deforestation, on the other side, results into the increase in the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Further, cutting down trees releases their stored carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. Deforestation contributes to global warming. Trees help control flooding. Their roots hold soil firm in heavy rains and the trees absorb some of the rainwater. Their absence can cause disastrous floods. 3C effects of deforestation on villages and rural areas. Deforestation can cause animals to completely lose their homes, and many wild animals may run to nearby villages and spoil the crops. The wild animals may also kill or injure people. Now we will see the effects of deforestation on cities or urban areas. Plants and trees consume carbon dioxide and help in reducing air pollution. If we cut trees, it will increase the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and so there will be increase in air pollution. Deforestation will lead to global warming, which will lead to melting of glaciers and the areas near the sea will sink in water. Deforestation disturbs the water cycle. Deforestation can cause droughts and floods which affect the cities also. It is also possible that the wild animals may come in the cities which may result into human and wildlife conflict. Now, question 3E, effects of deforestation on earth. First, trees prevent soil erosion. Soil erosion means removal of top layer of the soil which is fertile. Fewer trees result in more soil erosion. The top layer of the soil gets eroded by wind and water. Deforestation has converted fertile lands into deserts. Deforestation causes natural calamities like floods and droughts. Next, the climate of the earth has also changed due to deforestation. When the deforestation takes place, the natural habitat that is home of wild animals and plants is disturbed. Deforestation has resulted into the extinction of many plants and animals, and many plants and animals are on the verge of extinction. Now we will see the effects of deforestation on next generation. Due to deforestation, the next generation will have to face the problem of increasing air pollution. Next generation won't be able to see many beautiful, attractive plants and animals as they may become extinct with the passage of time due to shortage of food and loss of natural habitat. Many forests produce will not be available to the next generation. For example, many medicines, food, and wood. The next generation will have to face the increasing problem of emerging diseases, as deforestation is the main reason behind the increase in emerging diseases. What will happen if we go on cutting trees? Cutting of trees will result into loss of habitat and food of millions of animal and plant species. Next, increase in the temperature of the earth will result in global warming. Cutting of trees will also result into desertification, soil erosion, and adverse effect on indigenous communities. Cutting of trees will result into human-wildlife conflict, shortage of certain products such as food, medicines, fruits obtained from forests, and increase in emerging diseases. Global warming will disturb the natural water cycle, which will further lead to natural calamities such as floods and droughts. Question 4b. What will happen if the habitat of animal is disturbed? Answer. Plants provide food, shelter and protection to animals. If the habitat of animals is destroyed or disturbed, they would have to go to different places in search of food and habitat. In this process, many animals would get killed by other animals or by humans. It is also possible that population of some animal species may decline at a faster rate due to starvation or killing, and they may become endangered species. Next question 4c. What will happen if the top layer of the soil is exposed? If the top layer of the soil is exposed, then it will gradually expose the lower layer of the soil, which is hard and rocky in nature. This lower layer of the soil is less fertile as it contains less humus. If the soil erosion is continuously occurring, then the land will become barren or infertile. Now we will see question 5a. Why should we conserve biodiversity? First, we understand what is the meaning of biodiversity. Biodiversity is the variety of plants and animals and microorganisms generally found in an area. Now, why it is necessary to conserve biodiversity? Because plants and animals depend on each other in order to survive. They form part of food chains and food webs. So, the destruction of one would affect the life of other. If we see here, if we remove any one, suppose say butterfly, then the chances are that the number of these flowering plants or these lavenders may increase, or what will be eaten by this dragonity or the frogs, they will, the organisms or the insects or the animals on the upper side of the food web will have to find out the other organisms which they can eat. So ultimately it will put a pressure on the other organisms, their number may also decrease. So every organism, living organism, plant or animal has its own role to play in the food chain or food web. So the destruction of one would affect the life of another. In this figure, if we remove the fox, what will happen? Carrots will be eaten by rabbit, but Lion does not run after rabbit, it eats fox. So every animal or plant has its own role in this ecosystem. We get different types of food, fruits and medicines, etc. from various species of plants, animals and microbes. If we do not conserve biodiversity, many species of plants and animals will become extinct. That is, they will no longer be available on this earth. Next generation will not be able to see many beautiful and attractive plants and animals as they may become extinct due to shortage of food and loss of natural habitat. So there is need to conserve biodiversity, for which we should not cut trees at the present rate. We should take steps for the protection of biodiversity. Next 5B, protected forests are also not completely safe for wild animals. Why? Protected animals, forests, protected forests are not completely safe for wild animals because people who live near the forest depend on the forest to fulfill their many requirements, and these people may kill the animals for meat. If these people cut trees for wood, then the animals and birds living on those trees will also lose their habitat to live. Further, there are certain other persons who do illegal hunting of animals and sell animal skin or other products in the market in order to earn money. Next, some tribals depend on the jungle oblique forest. How? Some tribals are still dependent on the forests for fruits, vegetables, fuel, etc. These tribals also make herbal medicines from plants or herbs to treat normal problems like cough, cold, fever, etc. Many times, these tribals may also hunt the animals living in the jungle. The houses in which they live are also made of things taken from the forest. So we can say that some tribals are completely dependent on the forest to pull on their life. Next 5D. What are the causes and consequences of deforestation? First, we will discuss causes of deforestation. The main reason of deforestation is expansion of agriculture. Then there is logging, that means illegal cutting of trees. Then comes mining. Then we are also using the forest land for the construction of houses, industries, dams, and infrastructure projects. Deforestation also takes place due to natural reasons such as floods, droughts, or forest fires. The consequences of deforestation are loss of habitat. Habitat means home and food of millions of animals and plants. Deforestation also results into formation of conversion of the fertile land into desert. Deforestation also results into the increase in natural calamities like droughts, floods. Deforestation also results into increase in temperature and global warming. Due to deforestation, the chances of human-wildlife conflict increase. Deforestation also results into the increase in emerging diseases. Deforestation also adversely affects the indigenous communities. Now, question is, what is Red Data Book? Red Data Book is a book or a public document that lists the endangered animals and plants. This book is mainly created to identify and protect those species which are on the verge of extinction. An international organization which is known by the name IUCN is dealing with the compiling and publishing of red data book. Now, what do you understand by the term migration? Migration is the regular seasonal movement undertaken by many species of birds. Birds migrate for two main reasons, that is, find food and to find a good place to raise a family. Some birds move to far away areas every year during a particular time because of climatic changes and return to the original habitat after some time when the climatic position of the original habitat becomes normal. Siberian cranes from Siberia migrate to India every year in winters because during winter in Siberia it is dead cold and food is scarce, and it is not possible for the birds like Siberian cranes to live in Siberia in winter. So, to rear their young ones and to have better living conditions, Siberian cranes migrate to India. We may also tell you that we have already uploaded courses on various important topics such as past tense, present tense, future tense, computer virus, most common mistakes in English grammar, internet, information technology. You can see these courses on YouTube, on our website, or on Udemy or Tutorials Point or some other websites. Next, question 6. In order to meet ever increasing demand in factories and for shelter, trees are being continuously cut. Is it justified to cut the trees for such projects? Discuss and prepare a brief report. Answer: no, it is not justified to cut the trees for shelter or to meet the ever increasing demand in factories, because cutting of trees leads to shortage of food which is obtained from trees. Next reason is plants absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Cutting of trees will increase the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which will lead to global warming. Cutting of trees leads to soil erosion, desertification, and increase in floods and droughts. Cutting of trees also results in loss of habitat for animal species. If we go on cutting trees continuously, the day is not far when all the factories and shelters where the wood is being used will be located in a barren desert with no biodiversity. Ultimately, the existence of human life on earth will also become impossible as there will be no trees to release oxygen. Next, question 7. How can you contribute to the maintenance of green wealth of your locality? Make a list of actions to be taken by you. Answer: we can contribute a lot in maintaining the green wealth of our locality. Below is a list of actions that can be taken by us. First is growing more and more plants in the locality. Second, increasing awareness among children and adults about the consequences of deforestation and global warming. Encouraging the slogan "One man, one tree" every year so that every resident plants at least one tree in a year and takes care of it. We should not cut trees, as well as forbidding others from doing so. Next, we should water the plants regularly and take care of them. Next, question 8. Explain how deforestation leads to reduced rainfall. Deforestation means removal of forest or stand of trees from land and using that land for other purposes such as agriculture, building homes, industries, or for mining or other purposes. Plants absorb underground water through their roots and release it into the atmosphere in the form of water vapor during transpiration. The water vapor goes up and forms clouds. Deforestation adversely affects the natural water cycle. In deforestation areas, less evaporation takes place, resulting in the formation of fewer rain clouds. There is less rainwater in the air to be returned to soil. Consequently, there is decline in rainfall. Next is find out the information about the national parks in your state, identify and show their location on the outline map of India. Here the name of our state is Goa and the national park which is located in our state is Mollem National Park. Mollem National Park is located in Goa, closer to the border of Karnataka. It is a renowned bird watching destination for experienced bird watchers. National Park is home to several species of snakes, birds, butterflies, and also many animals like barking deer, leopard cat, flying fox animals, etc. This park is graced with many magnificent temples. Human activities like poaching, hunting, grazing are not permitted. In this photograph, Molam National Park has been shown on the map of India and this is one of its photograph. Next, why should paper be saved? Prepare a list of ways by which you can save paper. Answer: paper is used in our day-to-day life. Thousands of trees are cut to fulfill the demand of paper. We should save paper as it will save a large number of trees. Thus, this in turn will save water which is used for paper manufacturing. We can adopt many ways to save paper. These are recycling of waste paper, using both sides of a paper for writing, donating old books to poor children so that they can reuse those books, use of digital technology instead of paper, for example, instead of letters wherever possible. Further, we should avoid taking paper bags from the shops. Instead, we should carry jute bags from our home whenever we go to the market for purchasing something. Now we are to complete the word puzzle. This is the downside and this is the across side. First comes species on the verge of extinction. This is the first we are to write here. We have so far read three types of species. First was extinct, then there were endangered, and we have also learned about endemic species. Extinct are those which have become extinct, that is, they no longer exist on earth. Endangered species are those species which are on the verge of extinction. That is, if we do not take steps to protect them, they may become extinct. Endemic species are those species which are found in a particular area or state or region or a country. So now we will first see species on the verge of extinction. We have seen that those species which are on the verge of extinction are called endangered. So we will write here endangered. Next, a book carrying information about endangered species. It is called red data book. As already told, this book is compiled and published by an international organization which is known by the name IUCN. Consequences of deforestation. Consequences of deforestation may be many. It may be droughts, it may be floods, it may be conversion of the fertile land into deserts. It may deforestation may result into human wildlife conflict, or it may be the loss of habitat of animals and plants, or it may be global warming. So let us see, it may be the adverse effect on the indigenous communities. So let us see consequences of deforestation which fits here. 5. Here the third word is S. Droughts, no. Floods, no. DES, desert. This here it looks, it will fit. Desert, because it was S here. Next, now we will see here across, that is we will see here. First, that is we will write here. Here, species which have vanished, that is those species which no longer exist on the earth, which used to exist in the very history, but they no longer exist because with the passage of time or due to climatic changes or due to deforestation, they no longer exist. Species which have vanished are called extinct. Next, species found only in a particular habitat, we had already learned that these are called endemic. So here three across endemic. Here D is already written endemic. Next, varieties of plants, animals, and microorganisms found in an area is called biodiversity. Biodiversity means various types of plants and animals and microorganisms found in an area. We hope we have been able to convey the important message of conservation of plants and animals. If we do not take necessary steps at present to conserve forests, then the day is not far when the existence of human life itself will be in danger. If you like our video, please like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you.